Welcome to a story that opens the door to a world many don't see. A world filled with struggles, secrets, and strength. Today, we will dive into the life of a sex worker. A person who, like anyone else, has dreams, feelings, and a story worth telling. This is not just a tale of hardship, but one of courage, resilience, and hope. Let us walk together through this journey, not with judgment, but with understanding. Everyone has a reason for their choices, and behind those choices, there is always a story. Let us remember that kindness costs nothing, and it can change lives. Now, let's begin. In a small apartment in New York City, a woman named Emily sat by her window, staring at the city lights. Emily was in her late 20s, with soft brown eyes that carried a quiet sadness. Few people knew her real story. To most, she was just another person in the crowd, but Emily had a secret. She worked as a sex worker. Her journey into this life wasn't something she planned. Emily grew up in a small town in Ohio. She loved to draw and dreamed of becoming an artist. But her family struggled with money. And when her father fell sick, Emily had to drop out of college to help pay the bills. Life in the city was expensive. Emily took on odd jobs, but the money was never enough. One day, she met a woman named Lisa at a diner. Lisa was confident and dressed in expensive clothes. She noticed Emily's tired face and started a conversation. Lisa told Emily about her job and how it helped her make ends meet. At first, Emily was shocked. She had never thought about sex work as an option. But as her bills piled up, she found herself thinking about Lisa's words. Emily hesitated for weeks. She didn't want to be judged or lose her self-respect. But the rent was due, and she had no choice. She promised herself it would be temporary, just until she could find something better. Her first night was terrifying. She met a client in a hotel room, her heart pounding with fear. But over time, Emily learned how to protect herself and set boundaries. She met all kinds of people. Some were kind and respectful, while others treated her like she didn't matter. What surprised her the most was the loneliness of her clients. Many of them weren't just looking for physical pleasure. They wanted someone to talk to. Emily listened to their stories, their pain, and their dreams. It made her realize how many people in the world were carrying their own secret burdens. Sex work came with its own set of challenges. Emily faced judgment from society, even from people who didn't know her. She felt invisible, like her worth as a human being was tied to her job. She also worried about her safety. Not every client was kind. Some nights were dangerous, and Emily learned to trust her instincts. She carried pepper spray and always told a friend where she was going. The hardest part was the emotional toll. Emily missed her old life, the days when she dreamed of being an artist. She felt stuck, like her life was on pause. But Emily was not alone in her struggle. She met other women in the same line of work. They formed a small community, supporting each other through tough times. They shared tips on staying safe and encouraged one another to keep going. One of Emily's closest friends was a woman named Sarah. Sarah was a single mom trying to provide for her son. She dreamed of starting her own business someday. "This job doesn't define us," Sarah would say. "We're more than this." Emily started to believe those words. She began saving money, determined to build a better future for herself. Sex work is a complicated topic with many layers. Some people choose it, while others feel forced into it because of poverty, abuse, or lack of opportunities. Society often looks down on sex workers, forgetting that they are human beings with dreams and feelings. One of the biggest problems Emily faced was the stigma. People assumed she was a bad person, without understanding her story. This made it harder for her to ask for help or find other work. Another challenge was the law. In many places, sex work is illegal, which puts people like Emily at risk. Instead of protecting them, the system often punishes them. This leaves them vulnerable to abuse and exploitation. But there are solutions. Emily learned about organizations that support sex workers. These groups provide resources, education, and a safe space for people in the industry. They also advocate for laws that protect workers instead of punishing them. Education is another key. When people understand the reasons behind sex work, they are less likely to judge. Awareness can lead to empathy, and empathy can lead to change. Emily also realized the importance of mental health. She started seeing a counselor who helped her process her emotions and set goals for the future. One day, Emily decided to take a big step. She signed up for art classes at a local community center. It wasn't easy balancing her job and her passion, but she felt alive again. She started painting every spare moment she had. Her art became a way to express her pain, her hope, and her dreams. A year later, Emily held her first art show. She was nervous, but when she saw people admiring her work, she felt proud. For the first time in years, she saw herself as more than her job. Emily's story reminds us that everyone deserves kindness and understanding. Life is not black and white, and we all face challenges that shape who we are. Sex workers like Emily are more than their jobs. They are people with dreams, struggles, and stories worth telling. By offering support and compassion, we can help them find a path to a better future. As Emily once said, "You can't change the past, but you can build a new tomorrow. All it takes is courage, hope, and a little kindness." Let this story inspire us to see the world through a lens of empathy, to listen without judgment, and to believe in the power of second chances.